A mountain stands, stately, silent, still, until she was not. Slowly, deliberately, she moves through space. She moves through time, waiting, watching, wondering. She abides. Children formed, stature decreasing, but influence growing. Suddenly, a child vanishes. Be well, little one. You were formed for great things. Hi, everyone. It's Monday, and it's time for a little bit of Fountains of Vesipisara, episode 6. I'm Melissa, your DM, and with me are my wonderful players. Say hi, wonderful players.
Hello.
Yes, and so before we jump in tonight, normal announcements, including assets, as per usual, the wonderful character arts done by Patsy, who I think this way, maybe this way, I don't know. I still haven't figured it out. It's fine. Maps by Incarnate, overlay by behind the scenes producer Dev. Other things are also not made by me, but I have completely lost them in my brain, so it's fine. Other announcements. Dungeon Sphere on Wednesday with me and Yuri and Wyatt, or maybe this way and that way. I don't know. It's fine.
Come see Jacob get possessed by a ghost.
Will we live?
Because Dev asked, do you want to open this? And like idiots, we said yes.
Oh my goodness, I have to rewatch the episode. I have completely, everything that went down 2 weeks ago, it is completely gone.
Oh, you're in for a treat, Melissa. There's so much that happened.
I'm so ready. So much happened.
We got a flying carpet, though. That was fun.
Oh, we did.
We sang a lot of Aladdin.
Yes. Someone did it poorly, and I have to go find the lyrics so we can actually sing it properly. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Oh god, just roasting Dev.
Well, you know, Aladdin, my favorite movie of all time. You gotta do it justice, man. Okay. Anyways. That is all I have, I think. Quick announcements. Does anyone have anything else? No? Good? Cool. So we'll jump right in to episode 6 of Fountains of Vesipisara. So, I'll readjust myself. Previously. So, after Zenus, the Satyr Bard was aged significantly during a fight against Anacointi, harbingers of Kiristuli. The group found a way to get to Vesipisara to hopefully de-age him. When there, the group met Janice, right hand to Bimini, and found Waterdrop Village. While there, a sneaky rabbit folk teen, once seen in a dream, made a hasty exit from the village, chased by Vanilly and Zenus, though not caught. After unfruitful conversations with both of his seemingly airheaded mother and angry father, the group decided to search for Timothy after helping Janice sort out why a portion of Vesipisara was dying. On the way to the dead zone, the group took a special ride. Eror's old ship, crew and vessel missing for months from the material plane, though they had been trying to get out of the foggy expanse they had been trapped in for years. Unable to help Eror's old crew at the current time, and Glimmer and Roswell being called by a mysterious voice from outside the fog, the group exited the ship and found a tunnel covered in shrieking red mushrooms that seemed to summon entirely too many skeletons. Running for the arcanely locked portal, Vanilly was able to suppress the lock long enough for the whole group to make their way through. In the immensely large and entirely empty of threat cavern, an amorphous blob of water seemed to call to Glimmer and Roswell, though only they could hear it. Once they drew near, the blob formed into a staff and shield, which Glimmer and Roswell took, and that is where we pick up today. So, yes, Glimmer and Roswell, you now have a staff and a shield. What would you guys like to do?
Doing like a full color guard, spinning, twirling.
And you hear...
I drop it so many times.
You hear in your head, Oh my god, I think I'm going to be sick.
Oh, it is speaking to me.
You just
Roswell
threw
does
it
like
away?
a magical girl transformation, like Sailor Moon. They're spinning. His clothes are glowing. His hair is getting long.
Beautiful.
But like only in his head, so you just see him like this.
But yeah, Glimmer, you hear in your head after I'm going to be sick. You finally made it.
Are you the one who has been repeating the lines incessantly? The "we are we who are friends of trees"? I don't remember what it is you said. I have a terrible memory.
You hear in your head, we recorded that a while ago, to go off when someone showed true friendship.
Oh, are we very good? Roswell, are we very good friends? I did not realize this.
Do we all hear
That
this,
kind
or
of
is this
hurts.
just the two of them?
That is,
Hey.
I have an objection to the very first friendship is Roswell.
A,
you guys will
I'm
need to go
everybody's
back.
best friend,
I said
and
you guys will need to go
B,
back
it kind
and
of
watch
hurts that
that.
you didn't already know that.
You guys will need to go back and watch that episode right before that first thing happened, because the reason, like, there's a reason that it went to Glimmer and Roswell.
Yeah, because we're the best friends.
We're awesome.
Obviously.
Three best friends that anyone could have.
And
I would like to file a complaint with the magical service of prophecies and friendship, because this is ridiculous.
You're right, Vanilly. I should get 2 weapons for being such a good friend.
Crazy. Ridiculous. You're lucky I don't have any other friends to compare this to.
That's right, baby. I'm a number 1. Beating out all the competition, of which there is none.
I did not realize that being friends was such a cutthroat way of being. I must up my game.
No,
Everything's
no,
cutthroat if you make it cutthroat.
You're doing just fine, Glimmer. Don't. I mean, everybody has friendship in different ways. I'm used to Glimmer talking to herself, so I don't actually think anything of it.
but yeah, Roswell, you also hear in your head, you've done well finding us.
I think in my head, but don't say it out loud. Are you they?
We are they. We are Suri Yastava.
We are.
It's an
really
interesting
good
name.
Friends of trees. I have it written again. There's not even a single mention of a tree.
No.
Well, I am Roswell. Nice to meet you. What can I help you with?
They say, well, if you're here and you have heard the summons, then Vesipisara must be in trouble.
Well, we have heard that several areas are dying. So I would say that, yes, they're quantifiably in trouble.
Oh, wait. Can Glimmer hear what I hear?
It's fainter, but yes.
Wait, so does that mean Glimmer can hear my thoughts as well?
I've got my staff like up, like a mom, like a really busy mom on the phone, like cooking dinner.
It depends. So you can't hear each other's thoughts unless you are trying to, but you have to be attuned to these weapons. So it's not like your thoughts go. But Glimmer can hear Yastava, and you can hear Suri when they talk as well.
Gotcha. Roswell
Okay.
suddenly becomes way more aware of what he's thinking.
What are the names of them again?
Shuri Yastava. Suriyystava.
And is the staff
Staff.
Yastava?
Nope, other way.
Ah,
Shield.
Mhm.
Get you.
But as you look at them, like if Glimmer and Roswell were standing close together, you can kind of see the energy of the two weapons sort of swirling around each other.
This stick says that Vesipisara is in trouble.
Yeah, I
say
wonder
that
why.
I say that to the group.
Narrow eyes at Vanilly. I wonder why Vesipisara could be in trouble.
It's me, Roswell. I'm slowly draining the life from the land to accumulate more power, like I've done with Zenus. There you go. Are you happy? You bullied it out of me. Are
I'm
you
just glad
happy
we're
with
all
your
on the same
best friend
page.
award?
I am. I am happy. Thank you.
So what is the purpose if you are able to be awoken if Vesipisara is in trouble? So like, who or what are you? I don't. It might be a little bit rude to ask, but
Their name is they.
no, their name is Suri and Yastava.
They've been
Suri
saying their
Yastava.
name is they for forever now.
Do you every time you use one of your pronouns? Should I just call you by your pronoun? Oh, this is he.
Yeah, but I don't go around saying I am he. I say I am
Good.
Roswell.
It is a dramatic inflection, Roswell.
I don't know
just
what
made
that
quite
means.
the statement.
Yes, I was.
And you hear in your head, being mysterious. It tends to draw people in more than just being like, "Hey, come help us save the world."
Yes, I was very curious and allured.
I also was very curious and allured and aloof. I'll be honest, I don't know what aloof means.
I don't think it is a word that you would use to describe yourself.
Oh no, it would be. I think
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Aloof means has
I'll
lots of
look it up.
anxiety, right?
No, it is like
Oh.
uncaring.
Not
No.
friendly or forthcoming, cool and distant.
Yeah.
I always hear it to be just kind of like up in
Mm.
the air, sort of like, I don't know.
But yeah, you also hear when we could no longer protect Vesipisara in our mortal forms, Bimini imbued our essence into this form so that we could protect Vesipisara when the time came.
Who were you before you became a water blob and then a stick?
They're quiet for a long time. We were best friends. We were Suri Stava.
Now you're our best friends.
We've expanded the best friends group. I think we need a name.
Friends.
Friends.
Yeah. No one told me life was going to be this way. I never thought I would end up in the Feywild.
Oh no, Roswell, is your love life DOA?
It is letters.
Does Does it feel like your life is always stuck in second gear?
It does if I knew what gears were.
Well, does this mean that you will, we'll be able to talk to you from now on, yes?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm going to post a thing in Cash Chat really quick. Just for funsies.
Wait, which cast chat? There we go.
The cast chat.
Anyways. Yeah, you get, and as you're talking, talking to them, you're kind of able to, like, the voices were coming, before they're coming through as, one, but two at the same time. Just kind of being able to pull them apart now, and yeah, Suri seems a little more willing to chat. Gustavo seems a little more stoic.
Aloof.
Eh. Sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. What was the question again? Didn't you ask a question?
You were telling us what Suri and Gustavo were like.
Okay.
Because I asked, like, if they'd be able to, like, if we'd be able to
yes.
talking to them.
Yeah, and yeah, Suri starts, kind of going on, it's been kind of boring down here. Waiting.
How long have you been waiting?
And you kind of get this. We don't have a way to track the time. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you know what? I remember people saying that. That checks out. So did you guys, like, only have each other to talk to?
Yeah, but it's okay. We're besties. We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Do you guys, like, sing show tunes?
I love show tunes. Zenus has taught me so many.
It's true.
And yeah, you kind of hear from Siri.
Don't worry,
ran out
we'll
of those
teach you
a while
love.
ago. She goes. They go. I ran out of that a while ago. Gustavo wanted me to stop, and you kind of get, like, Glimmer. You get this kind of feeling of, like, well, no, Roswell gets this feeling of annoyed.
Well, don't worry. We'll teach you all the new ones that came out.
Yes. So many. We have so much to sing.
But yeah, Suri says, is there any other questions you have for us? We've been here a while.
So you just know that Vesipisara is in trouble, but you don't really have, like a strong direction of where or what?
Not in here.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of...
All right, well, let's get out of here then.
How did you end up here? You said that Vanilly? Yes. Sent you to be here. But why would she send you away if you're to protect Vesipisara?
She said something about not being in the wrong hands. I don't know.
Were you always weapons? Or did you go through puberty or something?
Am I going to become a weapon?
Technically, anyone can be a weapon if given into the wrong hands.
You are so very wise, Vanilly.
That's what my dad used to say.
I never
He
thought
said, Vanilly, you're capable of a lot of terror, so make sure that you're a good person.
I pat Vanilly on the head. I'll be like, this baby right here, you could fit so many proverbs in this baby.
Suri says, we take the form that is needed.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, like, if I needed a sandwich.
I think that would make you a cannibal.
Why? I'm not a sandwich.
But they said that they used to be mortal.
Okay, but like, just because they're mortal doesn't mean we're the same thing. Cows are mortal.
I like
Cows are mortal
where
too.
I think the quarterstaff's ears are, and I'm like, you cannot just tell somebody that you want to eat them. It's weird.
I never said I wanted to. It's a hypothetical.
Istava, you get from Istava here. The person does not choose the form. Nor do we, for that matter.
Who does then? It's not
Me, maybe?
like Wonder Twins activate power of bow and arrow. No.
No, this Suri says this is us for now, I guess, unless you guys show you're not good friends. Then we might leave.
No, I hold Roswell's hand. We will be the very best of friends. I am sorry, Zenus. We will also be friends, but this stick relies on my friendship now.
and Suri will say, not necessarily like the group friends, like friends to the group.
Ah.
So not necessarily you and Roswell are best friends, but like, you've shown the trait of friendship strongly.
Oh.
I'm totally a Chandler.
Hey, Vanilly, can you ask your oh, no, I'm Vanilly. Glimmer?
Yes?
Hey, Glimmer, can you ask your magic stick what it qualifies as friendship?
Yes. Sorry, what do you quantify as friendship?
Ask it if it thinks bullying is friendship.
Well, I think I could answer that.
Because I don't know. Your magic stick thinks Roswell is a great friend for some reason.
I am a great friend.
Roswell offered to shoot that boy for you.
Yeah.
Roswell made me shoot that boy! Is that good friendship?
I'm teaching you.
He gave you the tools to do it. I don't know that I necessarily agree with it, but...
I don't agree with it either.
Hey, friends tease each other sometimes.
Friends
I don't feel like you're friendly teasing, Roswell. I think you're specifically saying words to make me feel bad.
But while I've been saying these words, have you once thought about your dad? Maybe I'm trying to distract you.
All the time! Constantly!
No, but while I'm teasing you, I seem to be like the only person here trying to distract you from this very scary thing that's happening to you right now.
I would very much like to focus on the thing that's happening so it'll help me find my dad.
Well, sometimes it's not great to focus on things that we have no power or control of in the moment.
I would like to have power and control of finding my dad. I miss him very much.
And when the time comes, you will have power and control over it, but you can't have power and control over every second of every day.
The power of friendship.
And if you let that consume you, I mean, you're just going to fall apart before you could even do anything to find your dad.
Vanilly puffs up her cheeks and crosses her arms and crisscross applesauces on whatever constitutes the ground in here. I'm
So
not
anyway.
confident where we are.
We're in a big empty cavern, basically. There are a few boulders and things around, but it is lit. But you have no idea where the light is coming from. Biggest source is the arcane portal gate behind, or that you guys came through, but that is not big enough to light the area that it is currently lit.
Actually, I do think that Vanilly brings up a good point. Why did you choose Roswell and I?
I'm the best friend. It's like the one thing I'm good at.
Oh no.
Suri says, "You must have shown some act of friendship while you've been here."
It is a good thing you are so humble, Roswell.
Hey, I got one thing going for me. So, speaking of being a great friend, you are a shield.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about throwing yourself bodily in between dangerous weapons and me? That doesn't seem like a very fun or great thing to do.
Protectors protect.
Yeah, but like normally it's not just like with their face.
I don't know. Have you ever seen a goalie?
Let me tell you about soccer real quick.
let me replay you some key tidbits of water polo.
Side story, I played goalie as a kid in soccer. I was real bad at it until one day I got hit in the face with a ball, and all of a sudden I was like, oh hey, that doesn't actually hurt that much. I guess I can be a goalie.
Oh, good.
Anyways.
That's the correct conclusion to come to.
Didn't hurt? Okay, cool. Anyways. But yeah, you hear in your head, protecting friends is a great duty.
Roswell is trying so hard in his head not to think of the word duty. He knows people are listening in, and he doesn't want to be disrespectful.
I think Glimmer just gets duty in her head.
She doesn't get it. Well,
but yeah, sorry, we'll just say, Bamini knew Vesipisara would need saving, but more importantly, they knew the world would need us and you, and you that would wield us.
well, it is a great honor, and I'm glad that you will be able to come along with us. I'm also very glad for this very convenient area for my wand to go, because I have to keep that. That is very important to me.
And you just hear in your head, we become what is needed.
So cool.
So yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Is there an exit in this room?
The way you came.
Okay. Just making sure that the door didn't close behind us or anything.
If we go back through that portal, are we going to be assaulted by skeletons again?
That's a good question too.
Or mushrooms.
Or mushrooms?
You hear the defenses are the last test.
What was the first test?
Hearing the message.
Thank God I didn't know it was a test. I'm awful at those.
But you passed. I think with flying colors. We did very well.
I am very good at hearing things.
Well, should we get out of this weird cave?
1 second. How long have we been in here so far?
Not terribly long. 20 minutes, half an hour.
Maybe we should take a nap first.
Oh.
Just a short rest. Because I am a warlock. With 2 spell slots, which I use both of them.
We can 100% take a short rest, probably just another like half an hour total. Which will be good because you will be able to then attune to those items.
Yay.
And such.
Attune.
Kalima.
So yeah, you guys can roll hit dice if you like.
Okay, I realized that last session I didn't heal after that battle we had at the fountain.
Mhm.
So I'm at lower HP than I should be. I think I might have taken 5 damage last round of combat.
Yeah, and
So
I was
if
looking
I-
too. Did you push yourself up to level 4 yet?
Did I? I think I hold on, let me heal first.
Mm-hmm.
Take a short rest.
Yeah, short rest. So I don't know if you're gonna do bard stuff.
Yeah, I'll do, what is that? Song of Rest. So everybody can add a D6 to whatever hit points.
Wait, why did I just reset my hit points? Okay, cool.
Technically, I have never been hit.
All right, I'm back up to full.
As
I am too.
Cool. Were there any conversations you guys wanted to have in here, or just have a chill, short rest, and then head out?
I think the gang probably just explains soccer to me. That should take about an
I
hour.
would like to explain nouns and verbs and pronouns and
How
just
about-
general words to Roswell.
Conjunction, junction. What's your function?
I just back up on the lyre, just like strumming along as we do grammar lessons.
As soon as you say the word adverb, his eyes completely unfocus. He's
If
just-
anybody remembers VeggieTale, Larry,
Yes.
saying,
Silly
wouldn't you
songs.
like to be a
Larry.
pronoun too? I sing that to Roswell.
Everybody's
Wouldn't
got
you
a
like to
water
be a
buffalo.
pronoun too? Damn. I'm a big fan of the Pirates who don't do anything personally.
That's the only song I know by them.
I know
And the
too
only
many
reason why I
VeggieTale
know it is
songs.
because I thought Reliant K wrote it. Also didn't know Reliant K was a Christian band.
My favorite song by them is Mood Ring. I feel that personally.
Cool. So you guys exit the arcane gate, and the hallway is clear and empty now as you walk down it. Though when you do exit out the gate, Glimmer and Roswell, you get the twin voice, like, oh my, things are wrong.
Are we in the dead area yet?
No, you were just outside right now of the tunnel. But yeah, Glimmer hears and Roswell gets the fate. Ooh, that there's bad spot.
There's a bad spot.
To
the north. Does the Feywild have cardinal directions?
That is surprisingly a valid question.
They can.
To the equivalent of the north.
Oh, very fancy.
Doesn't help.
What do you mean this feels bad?
Something's wrong? It's not like it should be. Perhaps this is why we are found.
But you can feel it more clearly than in the portal?
We couldn't feel anything. Like it was a different place. We didn't really know what's going on outside of it.
Me neither.
Suri says that something feels wrong to the north, but not exactly what it is that feels wrong.
Well, that's as much of a lead as we have, so.
Just that we know that there's gemstones and other items that might be part of Kirstuli. Oh, do they know? Do your staff and shield know of Kirstuli or anything related to him?
Oh, that is a very good question. Suri, do you know anything about Kirstuli? He leaves gemstones. He is a very garish individual, I am thinking.
I didn't even know his name was Gary.
The name's not familiar to me, no. Or to us, no.
What about the creatures that attacked my friend Zenus? The Anacoin? They're very bad. We do not like them at all.
Yeah. It's odd, you get the feeling of a head shake in your head.
Oh, I don't like that feeling.
Wild. Do it again.
Oh, is this how you felt when I was spinning the stick around? Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Glimmer, does your magic talking stick do anything cool?
She gets sick when I spin her around.
I mean, like, cool stuff, or are they just people in there?
A little bit cool. I discovered while we were taking our rest that I think my magic has gotten a little bit stronger, and I have a couple of spells that I can cast, but only once per day.
Oh, that's fun.
So I think they will be
Wonderful.
fun.
The stick talks, and you want it to do more cool things. I'll never understand his youth.
As you say that, Glimmer, you just get like a little trickstery vibe in your head from Suri, like, because it's a lot of illusion style magic. So you just get like this trickster vibe in your head.
Oh, Roswell, I don't think we told you. We can't hear your sticks and stuff.
Oh, what?
Yeah. They just talked to you, so we've just kind of been letting you guys talk to your sticks and your pot lid for a while.
And you just let me talk to myself?
Glimmer does it all the time. I don't
Yes.
really know why. There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself.
We came together as a group, me and Eror and Mr. Zenus, and we decided we would just let you guys do this.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Of
Yes.
course.
I appreciate that you just let my descent into madness go.
You're
It would-
welcome.
It's a much more calming way. At least I wasn't panicked.
Do you feel my friendship radiating toward you?
I do, and I appreciate it.
I think Roswell has just this feeling of like stoicism radiating off of Yustava.
Suppress the urge to cast one of my illusion spells.
Can I want to do here? Can I do we know if we need to cross over or go back onto the ship in order to get to wherever kind of going where the staff told us to?
You're not 100% sure. I think Glimmer would be getting in her head. Feels like we're getting close. So maybe not.
Okay. In that case, I won't cast anything.
But speaking of which, as you continue walking north, you come and you see in the distance in contrast to the verdant colors everywhere, you see a clay, sandy area with nothing growing, with the trees are leafless and they don't even look like wood anymore. They look like dirt or look like stone. But you also see
Super
ahead of,
impressive.
yes, you also see straight ahead of you this giant blue weasel, and next to it a whirlwind swirling around.
Does the weasel look friendly?
Is the weasel in the whirlwind?
No, the weasel is next to the whirlwind, but give me a perception check.
Me or
Yes,
perception?
because I know we're all good at that.
That is a 13. It's my best stat.
You know what's weird? You're looking at this whirlwind, and you're not sure, but occasionally it seems like you see a little claw spin around, a little nose poke out as it spins.
I pointed out.
Does it see us?
I would like to arcana these things to see if the word I accidentally said out loud is true.
Mm-hmm.
15 plus 4, 5. Un momento as I check mine. 19.
19. No, they do not appear to be Memphis. They appear to be wind weasels.
The weasel is the whirlwind.
There appears to be two creatures. So yes, there is the world. Yes.
Put two of the same thing next to each other.
Yes.
And I hoped that wouldn't be confusing. So, no.
Yes.
I didn't want to pick a different animal. We were going with weasels.
It sounds like something from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
They look like wind weasels, I say, knowing what wind weasels are. Of course. Obviously.
Have the wind weasels seen us?
The wind weasels do look like they have seen you.
Do they look mad or?
I was just about to ask that.
or-
They
look
look like the
mad about it?
Tasmanian devil in the little whirlwind.
Yes,
Oh,
they do not. They
the
do not
Tasmanian
look.
devil is a wind weasel.
They do not look terribly happy to see you there.
Why are the wind weasels mad? What did we do to the wind weasel?
How big are they?
They are medium sized.
Okay, so big for a weasel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pokemon size.
Zenus will call out to them in Sylvan
Okay.
and just say, sorry, we were just trying to pass through here and didn't realize we'd be meeting anybody else. How are you doing? Can I help you with anything?
I also yell out in Sylvan, "Hark, forsooth, my friends! What, pray tell, are you..." I'm not good at this.
Billy also calls out in Sylvan, why are you mad?
Wherefore art thou?
Zenus is like, who taught you Sylvan?
I've only ever read it in books.
It's a dialect
I've always
never
known
heard.
Sylvan.
I only know Old Sylvan.
Yeah, and Zenus will get closer to them.
Yeah, and they are very as you scoot up and you can see into the more dead area, which extends out past the screen. You do see two figures back there, or Zenus sees two figures back there. You hear back in Sylvan, he's not to be disturbed.
The
Your
weasels or
your
The
friend
weasel,
over there?
yes.
Oh, does he just need to? We can go around you. It's not a big issue. I just wanted to. It looked like there's some interesting things going on.
He is not to be disturbed.
you or you're the other weasel or
Is he going for a world record?
Vanilly, are you?
Sylvan? Yes, I do.
Well, I mean, are you still standing back?
Yeah, I don't see the figure. I'm asking if the weasel says not to disturb the other weasel next to him.
You hear coming from the whirlwind. He is not to be disturbed.
You or we're just trying to teach pronouns to our friend Roswell. He's still pretty new to it. If you could maybe specify who, that'd be helpful. We just spent a very long time chasing a they. It was not as fun as everyone thought it was. A name would.
Could Zenus roll an insight check trying to put two and two together?
Mm-hmm.
4 on the dice for
You've connected
8.
the dots.
Nice.
Oh,
You haven't connected shit.
You just hear the end, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
oh boy.
Oh, cool.
Bro.
Oh, wait, I can do.
Okay.
That's a nat one.
Oof.
Okay, it's better than nothing. I
Is
rolled
my
an
piece?
8.
Oh, there I am.
Oh, I have them on the wrong layer.
Oh, these character sheets are new.
I can't click.
Did I mess up the thing?
7.
Oh
we are
wait, no, that's
rocking
that's
it
on
today,
me.
y'all.
It was on
I got a
the
19.
measure tool.
Oh,
I forgot
I
my
rolled-
strength is a -2.
I've got it. I got 2 21s.
I rolled
dang.
an 8, by the way.
Oh.
Oof.
Okay. Well, guys, it's been nice knowing you. We're about to
Yeah.
die to wind
3.
weasels.
Oh, my
Yeah,
guys.
I'd
My
say
guys rolled
we're
really
gonna-
well. Nice.
We're
I know they
gonna
said
die
not to
wind
disturb them,
weasels.
but now that made me really want to disturb them. I didn't want to disturb them before they said anything.
But now.
Yeah, but now.
Eror has no idea what's going on. He does not speak Sylvan. You just have just talking. Just saying
no.
things.
Oh, hey, my guys get to go first. That's cool.
Ow.
Rude.
Oh no.
Help. Help. I'm an old man.
Oh
Mhm.
no.
And it's there. Ooh, they're speedy too. Neat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. This is happening, I guess.
I like their color.
I do too.
And this one back here is, I'm just gonna use that thing, is in whirlwind form right now.
Can I be next to Zenus because I was also talking to them
Yes, you
in
can.
old English?
Yes, you can. Perfect. I love that for you. You want to know why?
Uh-oh.
That means it can hit you.
I love it for me too.
I need you both to make a dexterity saving throw.
Can I silvery barbs as a reaction?
What does that do again?
You barbed.
So I impose disadvantage, and then I'm gonna grant advantage to Roswell.
Cool.
So wait, do I have advantage on my
So
saving throw?
so I magically distract the triggering creature, and yeah, you magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another creature. The triggering creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll. And then
Well, it's a saving throw and not a
yeah. Oh, it's a saving throw. It's using that ability, not a roll to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. It doesn't work on that.
Oh, well, then
thought
I
it was
got a
an
natural
attack.
one.
Dexterity save.
Yes. I will say that, Guy, you should look at one of the things that Gustava can do.
But I really hope Roswell flies in the air in this whirlwind like a cow. In this.
I got a 7.
While
Nice.
attuned
Rolled
to
it
the
two.
shield once a day, you can use a reaction to grant resistance to 1 damage type. Yourself and all allies gain within 10 feet. But I don't know what damage type they're doing.
Slashing you as this weasel starts to spin around and is casting a whirlwind type attack on you, and basically that square right there.
Can I grant resistance to physical damage?
Yes, any damage type.
No, just physical.
So you can pick one damage type
Alright.
around.
Between magical and physical, I pick
The
physical.
DM gives you a very nice gift, and you
I
immediately.
kid.
You can grant resistance to slashing damage.
Well, okay. it
I
says
would
once
have
per
given
day.
it to you, Roswell, for a very clever use of the rules.
It says I can do it once per day, so I will have to do it on my next turn.
You're not surprised. You can do a reaction.
Oh, it doesn't say that it takes a reaction.
Did I not put that it takes a reaction? It takes a reaction.
Oh, you can use a reaction. You know what? I'm just really bad at reading, guys. Aren't you pretty to read?
It's because we didn't
Excuse me,
pay
my name
attention
is
to the-
Jared. I'm 19.
I can't
We
read.
didn't pay attention to the grammar lesson we just had during that rest.
All right, so I will grant resistance to slashing damage for Zenus and me.
So, that is 27 points halved to 13.
Oh, my gosh.
Zenus, did you fail that too?
Yeah, I did.
Are you dead?
No, I
I would have been.
would have been left on 5 hit points had I not healed all the way during that short rest.
Oh my god.
That's a huge chunk of damage. Ooh,
But-
buddy.
That is their turn. Now it is Roswell's turn.
I'm gonna hit it,
Cool.
right? Yeah. All right. Where's my weapon? Action. There we go. It's not great. It's a 17.
A 17 will hit.
Cool. Then I'm gonna do 10 points of damage total.
Cool.
Not a lot.
Anything else?
Nah.
Cool. And then we're to Zenus.
Um,
Run, Zenus, run!
yeah. I am going to move, let's see, 20, 30, 35. I'm going to move to this square.
Don't forget there's that other weasel up there.
Yeah, this one. I'm going to point at that weasel and start playing Pop Goes the Weasel on my lyre and cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on it.
Nice.
So I need a wisdom saving throw DC 15.
Cool. Nope. That's a fail.
Cool. So yeah, it falls prone and is incapacitated. And so at the end of each of its turns and each time it takes damage, it can make another wisdom saving throw.
Beautiful.
Oh, and it has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage. But
Okay.
otherwise, it's incapacitated right now and prone.
Neat. Air.
Oh, bonus action to inspire Eror.
Cool, cool. You see a weasel seemingly looking like it's about ready to gear up to try to turn into a whirlwind itself.
So that's the other one on the other side of the flower.
So yeah, this one looks like it's gearing up to start.
And then
Whirling
which one
around like
just
a
got attacked by Zenus? That
One
okay.
up there, yeah.
So I'm gonna run up to the one that looks like it's about to turn into a I almost said a werewolf.
Into a werewolf, my favorite. Weasel,
Weasel.
the wereweasel. Or
The were native.
Weasel.
I can definitely get up there, so I will. Should I get to the other side so we flank, or can I not make it there?
Yeah.
I think you have plenty of movement.
Flonk him.
Lock him.
Here, and does that give advantage?
Yes.
Try get
I'm
flonked.
gonna do a stabby stab with my scythe.
Woohoo.
Okay, I rolled a 3 and an 18, by the way.
Oh gosh.
18
So-
plus will hit.
Okay. And then that is a D8. For 3 damage, plus my dexterity modifier is 6 damage total. And I'm gonna use a bonus action, to try to punch this weasel.
Punch him.
Okay. You're just
Punch
doing
that
a
weasel.
normal unarmed strike, or you're doing a fury of blows to do 2?
Just one. Just one. No key points this time. That is a 19.
19 will hit.
So that's 5 damage there because I rolled a 2.
Cool. Anything else?
That's it.
As you're running up and kind of past that rock, give me a perception check, by the way.
Perception. That is a 9.
9? Okay, cool.
That's okay. I'm in danger now, I think.
I'm in danger.
Vanilly.
How are you looking, Zenus, for hit points?
I am just over half.
I'm going to use a bonus action to healing light you 2d6.
Sweet.
Or a 1 and a 6 for 7 hit points.
I gladly take it. Thank you.
And then I'm going to hold my little magic crystal dagger in the air, and I'm going to use Toll the Dead on this one. So that is a wisdom save of 13.
Rule 1d20. That's not how that works. Bam. That is a 14.
It doesn't do anything, but it makes the lovely sound of bells.
Cool. Anything else?
One of these days that'll work. Nope, that's my turn.
Okay.
What to do?
And then we are to Glimmer.
Cool. I'm gonna run over by Zenus and I'm going to say I'm very sorry. I cannot heal you. How do you feel about breathing damage? And then before you can answer, I just kind of like stiff arm him. And I give you dragon's breath.
I don't think I.
He totally. Just a little bit of fire comes out of Zenus's mouth. And he's
So
like,
you
"Oh
are-
no, the heartburn."
You want fire or poison or cold or lightning, acid.
Hold on. Think back to Pokemon. What are weasels weak against?
Well, they're wind weasels, so they might be flying type.
I'm assuming they're flying type.
They
We'd
could also
assume
just
they're a
have-
normal flying type, but they might be a fairy flying type.
Yeah.
True, we are in the
Feywild.
Feywild.
Or in the Feywild, they do speak Sylvan.
Oh.
In Eror and I's opinion, we would choose either lightning or poison.
Lightning it is.
It might be like the grapple locked where they're just not at all flying type, they just look like they should be.
Perhaps. Might
Like
be
original
that too.
Charizard.
Look at this
Okay.
dragon we made. He's not a dragon, though.
Cool. So, Dragon's
Yeah.
Breath. Anything else for Glimmer?
And that will be it.
Cool. Give me a perception check as you come up around.
Okay.
Please roll higher than I
Alright.
did.
Well, I do have a +4. I just don't often show it.
Well,
12.
12. You see one figure in the dead area. Okay.
in my
But
head, I
not-
heard you see one dead figure in the area.
No.
I was like, wait, what?
Hmm.
And then we are to the rodents. Doop-de-doo. Okay. So, this one is going to start spinning around, and you see claws and mouths. My mouth is everywhere. We're going to have one. It's going to attempt to bite air and then swipe twice at Roswell. So the first one is the bite, and then the second two are the claws. So 15 to hit Eror.
Yes, that hits.
Okay.
Oh.
For 4 whole damage.
Okay.
And then 13 and an 18 to hit Roswell.
Neither one hit.
Really? Cool. Cool. Super stoked about that. Okay. New shield.
Yes.
As it comes around, you just bonk him away with this watery.
Protect me, new friend. Slam.
Beautiful. And then Tasha City's Laughter one just gets a normal whiz save.
Yep.
At the end of his turn.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 13.
Does not succeed.
So this whirlwind is prone on the ground. I don't know.
He's just like flopping like a fish on the ground. Just like...
Oh.
No,
He's
a little,
fallen over
dust devil.
sideways and he's running, but he's running like on the ground in circles.
Yep. And then we're up to Roswell.
Hold on. Is it incapacitated creatures? Or wait, no, paralyzed. Okay, I'm thinking of paralyzed. If you hit it, it's an automatic critical hit. Alright, I am just going to attack the one sandwich between Eror and me.
Yep, and that's an advantage.
It's a 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
And that is 20 points of damage.
Holy crap.
As it starts spinning around and Eror gets its attention, I just kind of put my short sword in there and catch it right in the side.
Perfect. Anything else?
No. No, that's fine.
Okie dokie. We are then to Zenus.
Alright, since that one is incapacitated, I'm gonna move up 30. You said I saw 2 figures.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and get closer and figure out what they are.
Yeah.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Am I able to see them or do I have to get closer?
Just give it another perception check. We'll see where we're at.
Should I have made a perception check?
You sure can if you want.
What is with? I have rolled like 5 2s this entire
11.
game tonight.
11.
That's a 6 for me.
6. Yeah, you can't make out. They're kind of far in the distance. You can't make out who the 2 are. With a 6, Roswell, or would you say 6 for Roswell? No, 11.
11, yeah.
11 for Roswell. You can make out one figure in the distance.
Okay.
Cool.
Are you
so
close enough to hit that guy with your dragon's breath, Zenus?
It's a 15-foot cone, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll do damage, but that's fine. So I'll use my action then to do a 15-foot cone.
Okay. That's a
Right.
deck save.
Yes.
If he's prone, does he have disadvantage on deck saves? Is that how that works?
I forget.
I would imagine he has disadvantage because he's incapacitated.
Disadvantage on attack rolls. But he's incapacitated from hideous laughter, right?
Yeah.
Prone and incapacitated.
Yeah. So it can't take actions or reactions.
Nope, not disadvantage. Okay. That's an 11. Neat.
How much damage does this do, Heather?
3d6.
3d6. And it's lightning damage, right?
Yeah.
That's 7 points of lightning damage.
Oh.
Is it super effective?
I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 4.
Ugh.
Been there.
The dice are not on my side tonight. I don't know.
And then it gets to make a save with advantage.
I believe so. Let me double check the wording of the spell. Target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage. So yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
So that is a 14.
Still fails. My DC is 15.
Oh man. Okay, cool. Cool. Super stoked about that. Anything else?
Since I think I only moved 30 feet, if I was within that 15 feet of it, I'm just gonna stay where I am. It won't be able to hit me.
Cool.
Yeah. Jeez, I wish I rolled better on that perception check. Oh well.
Cool. And then we are to air.
So how is this weasel looking? Is it looking like...
It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Okay, I'm gonna do a stabby stab with my scythe then.
Okay.
And that's still with advantage because we're flanking it. That is a 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
Actually, I'm using a different D8 this time. 7 damage.
7, okay. Anything
Then
else?
I'm gonna do a single unarmed strike.
Cool.
With this one. Math 13. Oh wait, with advantage, hold on. That 13.
13 just hits.
Sick. I rolled 2 8s that time. And that does 5 damage.
5 damage. As you punch, somehow you manage to connect with the head of this weasel, and it falls to the ground. I think I made that one my thing. So I'm moving him over here because he's dead and not because he's still on the map. He's just my
He just teleports
he's
over there.
He's my turn order monkey. So gotta leave him on the board. Anything else?
I guess I'll move over here to try to see if I see anything else. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'll move right there.
And you're looking up towards the dead area still?
Yeah.
Give me another perception check.
Ooh, that's better. Perception, that's a 15.
You see a fey creature sort of reaching out his hand.
That's not good, I assume. I'm gonna tell everyone, guys, there's a guy over here and he's reaching his hand out at us and I don't have a...
To be clear, he's just reaching his hand up, sort of. He's not facing you, he's facing...
Okay. Well, he's reaching his hand up and I'm not really getting a good vibe from any of this. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I mean, he could be waving.
Perhaps he is casting a spell?
Does it look like he's waving?
It looks like he's reaching for something.
Okay. I don't think he's waving.
It doesn't sound good. I'll say that.
Anything else?
And that is my turn.
And we are to Vanilly.
Vanilly is going to move up. Having seen the weasel hit Eror, she's going to give him 1d6 healing. For a 6.
I am back to full, thank you.
and then is going to attempt a frostbite on the weasel on the ground. So that is a Constitution save of 13.
That's a 19 plus 2.
Yeah.
21.
I think the murder was just a fluke. I don't think I'm going to accidentally murder anything again.
Aww. Anything else for Vanilly?
Nope. Action, bonus, action, movement.
Cool. Give me are you focused on the weasel, or are you looking up in the dead area at all?
Well, I looked up to Eror, and then after not hitting the weasel, I probably looked back up to Eror.
Give me a perception check then.
Crit.
Yeah,
+2.
you.
No, never mind. Just crit.
You see the single fey creature reaching up to someone, to something. You're not sure what. Does not seem to be in distress. Yeah, it's just there.
So it's just a guy doing a thing.
Just a guy in this dead area.
Being protected by 2 weasels.
I think you also, with a crit, notice some sparkles on the ground.
I think that's the guy. I think that's Pop-Tart. What was his name?
Dooley.
No, I think that was right. I think it's Pop-Tart.
I don't remember why his name reminded me of Pop-Tarts. Strudel. It's the toaster strudel, man. Here is strudel.
Reese's Puffs. Peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anything else for Vanilly?
Oh.
We are to Glimmer.
Okay. Glimmer hears Vanilly say that she sees Kirsch Dooley, and I know that out of game we know that Kirsch Dooley was responsible for Zenus turning old. But like, do our characters? I can't remember like what we know Benno wise, and
so
the
you
Anacointe
know
told
that the
us, right?
Anacointe said that Kirsch Dooley is coming.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Glimmer's angry. So she's gonna go running up. They're like far. They're in this like desert area, right?
Yeah, they're in and this. As you look, you see a creature, fey creature. This, it looks like a dryad, maybe. Well, actually, Vanilly would have seen dryad. Give me a perception check to see what you see.
And a tree lady.
No, the fey creature is a dryad that you see.
Okay.
Oh. She's a tree lady. I don't think she's Pop-Tart, man.
Damn it. It could have been a 19 and it hit the edge. And
Do you know the Pop-Tart man?
Yeah, you
The
see
Pop-Tart
a
man.
single creature, hand extended, but with you can't. You're not even sure how Vanilly saw that it saw a dryad.
okay.
My special eyes.
She has
My
she has
brand.
younger eyes than I do.
Yes.
Alright. I will firebolt this weasel. We don't like the weasel. We want it gone. 15 to firebolt
15
the
will hit.
weasel. Awesome. For a big 2 damage.
Ooh.
I do not function well when I'm angry.
Doing really well, guys.
Like, we didn't
So
make our
that's-
characters for combat.
That is a 18 on the whiz save.
Yep.
Damn it.
Saves.
Cool. Where's the thing? Where's the thing to flip him to be not prone anymore? There it is. Hey, look. And this whirlwind weasel that was more wheezy than normal, I guess, from laughing, is no longer that. And
Anybody remember the weasels from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just thinking of that.
Oh, yeah.
One of the weasels was named Wheezy.
See, I hear Wheezy and I think of Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales, oh, Dragon Tales.
and is going to come up here and spin up a whirlwind, and I need Zenus and Glimmer to make deck saves.
You are a very bad weasel. Dexterity.
14?
17.
That both saves.
Oh, thank God.
And is the resistance to slashing damage just for that round?
It's for one round, yeah.
Okay.
So you both take 8 points of damage because that is 3 ones on that 66.
That was
Yeah.
lucky.
And do as it is in air form, it is going to invoke its fly by ability and float up 60 feet in the air.
What?
So not. It's got flyby, so it doesn't take opportunity attacks when it moves out of range. And it says the end has finished, and in Sylvan, and we will move on to Roswell.
Where am I on that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I am flanking, and I would like
It
to...
is 60 feet in the air.
Okay.
And I give him like a...
Well, then I'm going to pull out my short bow and shoot it.
Cool. You can certainly do that.
Let's see here. Short bow. That's a 17 to hit.
17 will hit.
And let me just double check one thing really quick. Features and traits.
Oh, I forgot to roll for a wild surge.
Oh yes, do that.
Okay. It was a level 2, so I just have to beat a 2.
Mm-hmm.
5! I am almost positive I've only gotten single digits for the wild surge.
I think that is correct.
All right, so that's 1 success.
Okay. No sneak attack damage.
No? Okay.
So I just do regular damage, which is
8. Okay. Cool. Give me a perception check as you are kind of looking in the general zone area of the dead zone.
perception check.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 16.
Yeah, you see the one creature hand raised out. Similar. Okay, Zenus.
Everybody else only sees one figure, but
Yeah.
you said I saw two.
You do.
Okay, if this thing
Don't
is
we also
60
see two?
I think Vanilly saw two, but I don't
No,
think...
Vanilly only saw one.
I thought Vanilly got a nat 20.
He
Did
did.
not Zenus though, with his magic face data eyes.
Well, I think
It's
I
probably
might
his
be the
grandpa or
only one who
something.
can see Kirishuli.
Because he touched you.
You know, he hasn't touched me
Ew.
yet, but I think I'm marked for the end.
There's gotta be a better
Wait,
way
I
to say
missed
that.
something?
Oh my god, are we just not doing phrasing anymore?
No, never. I'm a satyr. Why would I need to phrase anything? I know exactly what I'm saying. Since this thing is 60 feet up in the air, I don't think the cone won't hit it. So I'm gonna move my full movement to get like close to the edge. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So I can like try and get a better.
Yeah, as you get up there, you see the and they're still probably a good 150 feet away. So it's decently far still.
Yep.
But yeah, you see the dryad with the hand raised, and you see the tall, lanky man with the jewel-toned cloak reaching his hand down and grabbing this fey creature's hand. And as he does, the fey creature falls to the ground, and they both and Kirishuli vanishes.
Oh.
Seems completely normal.
Yeah, I think Zenus just. Yeah, I think Zenus would just like scream Kirishuli's name as he disappears. And just
Perfect.
Yeah, that's. I moved. I don't think I can. I'm not going to do anything else.
And as you do that, this is where we are going to go to our break. But before we do, a tall, lanky man in a jewel-toned cloak holds the hand of a fey creature. Dull gray sky and ground, a sharp contrast to his cloak. We have arrived. Your guide will be here soon to bring to you to your kindred plane. Thank you. The fey creature watches in awe as a bright light envelops him, and he vanishes. We will be back in about 10, maybe 15 minutes. See everyone then. The lime green rabbit folk looks up, inspiration struck. I've got to get ready. As the smell of cherry blossoms slowly permeates the outer reaches of Vesipisara. Hi guys, we're back. That was a short one. It's fine. And yes, the group had just defeated some weasels. One of them is 60 feet in the air and gaining altitude quickly, flying away. And Zenus just saw the lanky, jewel-toned cloaked man.
I have range of
disappear.
120 feet. Can I try to shoot the weasel?
Yep.
I would like to shoot the weasel.
Up goes the weasel. I don't know.
Plus 5. No, I don't think that hits. 11.
Nope, that doesn't hit.
Nobody's
And
really triggered by people running.
You wouldn't run if you're not guilty. That's what my dad said.
My mom was killed by a jogger.
and as
Why they call it a drive-by?
this whirlwind of claws and feet and tail and weasel nose floats off in the distance, what you guys like to do?
Suri, do you know what is going on?
Is he dead?
Well, this is the dead area that I talked about. I don't know why.
He said that Kirstuli was here. Where did he go?
I don't know who Kirstuli is.
Can you feel the badness anywhere else?
I can feel the. You just feel in your head like the expanse where it's sandy. This is it.
This is frustrating.
And as I'm assuming, are you walking up closer?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you do that, you do see like those same footprints that you saw at the barn.
Okay. Have you ever seen these gem-encrusted footprints before?
This is we've protected Vesipisara from dangers in the past, but it wasn't like this.
This is a real danger to my friends. We need to find him. You can't sense him?
No. I've been in a cave for a long time. I can't even feel Bimini right now.
Is that
Working on it.
unusual?
Yes.
Out of game question.
Yes.
Wyatt, did Zenus tell us what had happened specifically to his grandparents? Or does Wyatt know? Does Zenus know how that had happened? Like that your grandfather chose to go?
Like it was a grandmother, specifically. Yeah.
Whoever.
Zenus mentioned in the conversation that his grandma had passed, but nobody asked him about it. So Zenus just
he
said,
walked out all sad, so we're all like, oh, he just needs time to himself.
"Oh, I thought it was like I dropped it in the random, like in the middle of like a other related."
Mm.
I like snuck off. Zenus is the type, as boisterous as he is, to like kind of mourn in private.
Yeah, we all let you do that. But none of us know that you summoned Kirstuli by saying your time is up. So it's not even like we can be all like, we'll summon him by saying, kill me.
I don't even
So, like,
think
we don't
Zenus
know
knows that.
Okay. Never mind.
I think like Zenus is starting to put it together, but I don't think he's succeeded on any of his checks that allow him to like 1 + 1 = 2.
Okay.
He's just like,
I was
have
just
all
trying to
these
get
facts.
up to date on what we do and don't know in character. Continue.
So yeah, you see, like I said, you see up there the footprints with jeweled stones and stuff as you get closer.
Zenus will turn to Glimmer and say, "Did you see him?"
I only saw one person, but you said his name, so I wanted
He
to
was
come in.
he was the dryad. She was reaching up to him.
Well, I saw her reaching. I saw the dryad reaching up their arm to the air, but to me it looked like they were just standing there, and then they disappeared.
He held her
So
hand.
the dryad is still there, by the way.
The body.
Mhm.
I think Zenus would go up to her, or to them, and just kneel down and inspect, like, trying to see if there are any marks or if there's any, like, anything.
As you get closer, you see an elderly dryad that is dead.
Zenus will... He does the same thing that his grandpa had said many times over that he did for the dryad that died in their glen. He'll start preparing the body just very methodically, and just with a lot of care. Is the dead tree that's in this area, can he bring it over to the dryad over to that tree just so that they're connected? Yeah, he'll do that.
I'll help you out.
Yeah, and yeah, as you guys do all the preparations and whatnot, you bury the body.
Before we bury it, like while we're getting it ready, can I ritual cast Identify?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Or I guess maybe Detect Magic would work better. I want to see like if there was a spell that caused the dryad to die.
Cool. You sense as you cast that. Sorry, just look at one thing. You sense sorry, I'm really bad at magical schools. Is teleportation a school? Is teleportation's a school, right? Or no, whatever.
It's under conjuration, technically.
Yeah, you sense conjuration magic since there was something was teleported.
Okay. So I'll just like quietly say that to Zenus. It doesn't seem like it just killed her flat out. It seems like they were taken somewhere else. But I don't know what that means.
I don't even remember if it's a story my grandparents told me, but he somebody called the end. I don't know if the weasel said it. It's obviously related to Kirstuli, but I heard my grandmother call out for the end the other night.
You heard her in your dreams?
And I wasn't asleep when it happened. It seemed like whatever connection I have to my family is still there, but it wasn't. I couldn't talk back.
Well, I am glad that you were able, if you could not be there in person, that you could witness the last moments. I think that is a beautiful thing to be a part of.
I should have been there.
You're doing your best to get back there.
No, I'm doing my best. It's every time I get close, some other thing gets in the way. It's either Kirstuli or it's Doran or it's somebody pulls me further away from whatever I try and find. And it's not on you, it's not on anybody, it just is. And I'm old and I'm probably close to death, and it doesn't really feel very comforting to know that a grandma that was supposed to outlive me and she still did, but now I'm older than her. And I couldn't be there to hold her hand when the rest of my family was able to do.
You thought your grandma was going to live longer than you?
I certainly thought she would live long enough for me to hold her hand as she died.
You said she was going to outlive you, which means you didn't think you were going to make it.
I'm older than my own grandmother. look at me. I'm an old man. I'm older than she is.
We
That's
will
the whole reason
confront-
we
Well,
came to
that's
this
a
place.
recent development, though.
It is, which makes me all the more angry that I wasn't there in my little glen doing my own little thing. I love all of you, but I wish I had never met any of you for the simple fact that I could have been there for her.
He said he loves us.
We will find this
I don't think
Kirstuli,
that's the
and
point of this.
we will confront him, and we will call him to answer for what he has taken from you. Perhaps this teleporting does not have to be a one-way trip. Maybe we can talk to him and you can get your goodbye.
No, Grandma wasn't that type of person. Grandpa died, she buried him and said life goes on. It's a one-way ticket. There's a finality to it. People who are dead aren't supposed to come back. But I appreciate it, Glimmer.
We will also make Doran pay.
That I would love to be around to see.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
This isn't your plane of reality in the Feywild, is it? So it's not like you could just get on the boat and go home. Can the boat take you home?
I think it's only within Vesipisara, and I don't come from here. It's a good thought, though, Vanilly. We still have to rescue all of the people that are on the boat.
Well, we need someone who knows what's going on, because we don't know what's going on, and Janet doesn't know what's going on, and your magic talking stick doesn't know what's going on. Somebody around the Feywild has to know something. I mean, we've been wandering around in the dark for like 5 days now. I don't think we're getting any closer to fixing things.
Then Glimmer and Roswell, you would hear in your head, Bimini knows what's going on. We just need to find her. We can't sense her at the moment. But hopefully that won't be forever.
It is a little insensitive to ask, but I have to admit that my emotions are running a little bit hotter than usual. Is it that your powers are malfunctioning? Or that they are not working properly? Are you not powerful enough? Or is something wrong that Vanilly is missing?
You get this sense in your head of stretching.
Like yoga?
Like someone that's not fully woken up yet.
Oh. Well, grab a cup of coffee and get on it, Yuri. Let's go.
Would you be able to sense them if they were on a different plane of existence? Because they could just not be here right now.
Bimini is not one to show their face unless it is absolutely necessary. They do not like to be recognized for their actions.
Well, we're kind of in a pickle here. So if she wants to show up, that would be swell.
You think if we get on the boat and we think really hard about her, and then we say, "We have arrived," it'll just bring it to us?
We could do that, and if it brings us back to the village, then we know.
So you can get back to the village right now if you wanted.
Who's to say we couldn't use the boat to get to wherever that young rabbit folk is?
Timothy?
I mean, I don't want to say this, but I think Timothy's the least of our problems right now. We are standing at the dead area after your magic talking stick told us to fix it, or Janice told us to fix it, and we don't know how to fix it. We are here at the thing, but we have no idea what to do because people blindly told us to do something, and we blindly said, "You got it," and we walked here
So
with
to
no idea
clarify,
what to do.
to clarify, Janice asked you to find out what was going on, not necessarily to fix it.
We have no idea how to fix it, and Janice told us to do that.
I rather hoped that the situation would kind of present itself on the way.
We had all hoped that, but we have hoped incorrectly, Glimmer. We need somebody to tell us something. We've been wandering around in the dark, and we're no closer to anything. We're no closer to my dad. We're no closer to the Pop-Tart man who stole Zenus' life. We're no closer to finding who did this to Eror's crew. We've wandered around in circles and got bit by weasels.
We did do that.
How did
That was
you
a
do that?
low point.
I don't know what we're supposed to do anymore.
Well,
Maybe we need to change our investigation strategy.
We haven't
Can-
investigated anything.
Well, let's
maybe it's time to
investigate now.
I'm-
Suri and Yastava, can you tell us anything that you're sensing now that we can see the clear difference between the dead area and a living area?
So you're asking for...
Can they they knew it was bad,
Mhm.
but you know how sometimes you get that tingly feeling that's not good, but then when you look at the thing, you're kind of like, oh, that's why I feel like that.
Mhm.
Or I still have my detect magic up. Can I see if it's been magically siphoned away?
I think you see, as you're kind of looking around, those jeweled footprints, they almost look like they're worn in a path, a big old circle around this area. And as you watch, you see the edges start to come back a little bit. It's very minute, but I think Suri would say I think this is because of a presence here that's not here at the moment.
Was it?
Here.
Did you feel a presence before?
Yes. The one
Would
that,
you
the one that
recognize it if you
vanished.
feel it again?
The one that vanished.
Yes. Would you recognize it if you feel it again?
Yes.
Here,
Easy.
I've never done this before, but let me give it a shot. And Roswell's gonna walk over to the dead area and take a knee, and he's gonna rub his hand over his face, and he's gonna pick up some of the dirt in the area and put it to his tongue.
Ew.
And he's gonna be like, "Yeah, it tastes bad. Tastes like dirt. I didn't learn anything."
If you feel that presence again, will you let us know?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. That is as good as a lead as we're going to get. Right now, I think we need to get back to Janice and ask her how to get an audience with Bimini. She is her right hand rabbit folk. She has to have some way of getting in contact.
You
Did
said
Janice tell us that whole thing was a scam, though? That they randomly picked her and she's never actually talked to Vanilly and she can't hear her?
I thought it was that
Uh.
bullshit. She gets signs from Bimini.
Yeah, she gets
Yeah.
signed. She.
So Janice wouldn't have any way to find her or talk to her or know her. Or she's just getting vague images in the air when she licks dirt.
But she could get a sign.
Didn't Janice say that she hasn't been getting signs anymore?
No.
Some part of that was a scam, but I don't remember what.
I remember it upset you a great deal.
The Carl, the councilman, was being kind of a jerk.
He was trying to pull rank when they already conferred, like, they're like, the council only existed to choose the next right hand of Bimini, and then he's still acting like the council holds power when Janice already holds whatever power it is to communicate to Bimini. Or not to communicate, but to interpret the signs.
Mm-hmm.
You said that the footsteps are going around in a circle, and then, like, very minutely, there almost seems to be, like, regrowth happening.
On the edges of this dead area.
Like it's starting to grow back.
Mm-hmm.
It was a circle when it was at the farm too, right?
Yeah. Give me investigation checks.
Everyone?
Whoever wants to.
$16.
14.
I got a 5. I see nothing.
I mean, it looks like a pacing path, right? Like Kirshuli is pacing around in a circle, and you can see a couple times where almost like he's stomping on the ground, perturbed.
He's perturbed. I'm perturbed.
Was he waiting for the Dryad to accept it?
Maybe he was circling menacingly around like a shark.
Is the tree the center point of this entire circle?
Yes.
He is like a shark if he's just waiting for waiting for somebody to accept their own death and they call out. But that wouldn't.
It almost seemed like he waited. Right?
Right, but why would somebody wait?
Maybe they didn't call out.
We didn't hear them say any. No, we did. But the weasel said the end was near. Or the end was upon us or something like that.
Where is this tree in relation to the dead area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of in the middle. Though it's interesting. The dead area, as you look beyond, it's kind of like a foggy expanse, and Zenus, you would recognize this as the edge of the domain.
Didn't call. The dead area moved in on her. She couldn't get out of her tree in time. He came to her as she tried to wait out the end, but she couldn't because the dead area had already spread through her roots. He waited, and when she suffocated, she came out of the tree, and he told her she had to accept. After he had spent so long pacing around, he had stomped his foot. She didn't have a choice. The end came for her. She didn't get to say no.
That got dark so fast.
Is the dead area the fogs of whatever? Does it seem like they're encroaching in?
No, it just seems like that's just the edge of Vesipisara.
Is this anything? These like
what?
3 things in the corner.
Oh, those are just representations of the footprints.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I recognize those. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think Zenus might know that Archfey can prohibit people from entering their domain. And this, where these footprints are very at the edge of the domain and do not go any further.
It's almost as if Kirishuli was only able to enter. He was well, and the same token, Archfey can control who is able to leave the domain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's happening with Kiristuli, unless he's bound by some other rules that, if he's but all Fae follow those rules no matter what. Like, unless they're like
I think it would probably be clear that Kiristuli, it seemed like he wanted to go further but couldn't. Like, perhaps he had got this far and then was prohibited from going further.
Oh, so he wanted to go further into Vesipisara but couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
What would in Vesipisara? Isn't this Vesipisara?
Yeah. He can't. He couldn't come further in.
But he was in, wasn't he?
He was in, but Bimini pointed out here and no further. If Bimini truly controls that, if Bimini can control who enters into the domain.
Well, then why let him in at all?
The cycle of life. If somebody's calling out for him, then.
But why? I suppose my question is, why on the very outskirts? Why not fully expel him or fully allow him in? Why is he allowed only here?
If he came in any further, this might happen. And Zenus kind of points to all the clay and just says, if he can't control whatever this is, if it's just an effect that he has, that he can ferry people to death and cause gemstones to come up wherever he is in dead patches of earth, then...
So she only lets him in where someone is actively ready to die, and then he's expelled again.
It's probably the closest theory we really have at this point. I mean...
If the dead area is spreading, that means he can get into more of Vesipisara? You can only walk on the dead areas?
I think it's more that he's causing the dead areas.
They're just a byproduct of what he's doing.
Roswell.
Yeah.
Why do we care about this again?
I mean, because our friends care about it, mostly for me, but also because Bimini could probably give us some answers.
I'll try to remember that.
Okay. Well,
are we?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna just suggest we go back to Waterdrop Village because wherever things are gonna take us next. I mean, we have as much, in my mind, as we're gonna get out of this location.
Yeah, I don't think we can get any more answers.
Yeah.
I could try the dirt thing again.
Maybe if you put your tongue directly onto the ground this time.
I've seen people do it, and I thought that maybe there was something to it, and I would figure it out once it was in my mouth. I did not.
Give it a good lick.
I'm gonna start looking for a puddle.
Yeah.
It is not hard once you get out of the dead area. There are many.
Yep.
Eror, did you want to see your crew again, or are we just gonna bypass them entirely?
I mean, we were planning on seeing them afterwards, right? We have to get back to other places, I'd assume.
I don't know if you just want to just see him for a little bit. If I could see my dad, even if he was stuck here, I'd go out of my way to see him.
I mean, that's not to say I wouldn't like to see them, but I feel like they'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you guys find a puddle, and as someone stirs it around, you guys watch the sediment settle back in, and you see a passageway to the outskirts of Waterdrop Village.
Zenus will go through.
Yeah, I'll go through also.
I go there too.
Yeah.
I'll be the last one to go through.
Yeah, and as you come through, I think Glimmer and Roswell, you hear in your head from Suri Yustava, there's someone new in the wood.
What do you mean?
Someone that isn't supposed to be here?
Is it a little knave of a rabbit folk
No, the
Who's been
rabbit folk are
recently-
supposed to be here.
recently injured?
The rabbit folk are supposed to be here. It's not him.
Is it that feeling you had when we went to the dead area?
No. Seems sad.
We're
Would you
all
be able
sad,
to-
Sword, get over it.
Point us to him or to them?
Vaguely? Yes.
Do you mind if we take a short detour again? I am following my feelings. Suri is saying that somebody who does not belong in the woods is there and that they are sad.
We're all sad. Magic
is
talking
not-
stick.
It is not the little rabbit folk that has so injured Vanilly.
I have nothing better to do. We might as well.
Weren't we gonna go report to Janice to figure out what had happened?
I mean,
We can't keep
Sure.
running after every injured teenager there is.
Well, we have no leads, and
We had to go talk to Jan. We finally have a lead. We have to go see Janice because Janice might know how to get to Mrs. Panini, the magic archfey god who sends her signs in the wind.
Okay, if you don't want to go, we don't have to go.
We just keep running around doing weird stuff. I don't know why.
Well,
We're not
we're in
getting
a
any
weird
closer to anything.
place, and the
I'm
last
so
time we
sick of
found,
this weird place.
well,
wish
I
things
understand.
made sense.
I'm trying to help Vanilly to get you back home with your father. I'm sorry, we don't have to go.
So what are you guys
Let's
doing?
go see Janice.
yeah, we'll
Okay,
go
we-
talk to Janice and just tell
Cool.
her everything.
So you guys get into town, and Janice is running around a little more haggard than normal than you've seen her previously. Oh, you guys are back. Hi.
She start caring about her kid or something.
She's not the one with the kid.
Janice,
Mhm.
well, there's a lot to go over. Essentially, Roswell and Glimmer here found some. Well, they weren't found; they were chosen by. What were their
Lady
names?
talking stick.
And a shield.
She goes, so Bomini does want to be found.
Well,
Told you she didn't know where she was.
the issue is that Suri and Yastava cannot feel the Mimi.
They should be able to. Perhaps it just takes a little bit of time?
Trust me, they've had nothing but time.
There are.
It's been a whopping like 6 hours, by the way, since you found them.
Well, no, I meant like they've had a lot of time where they were just sitting in a cave.
Well, yeah, and if you were in a dark place and then walked into the light, would you be able to see stuff super fast right away and be able to know exactly what's going on?
Say yes.
Oh.
That's specialized.
Look with your special eyes.
There was some interesting thing about the dead area that you were talking about.
Tastes awful.
That, I saw Kiristuli take a dryad, like their soul. But Kiristuli was only found in a very small area. His footprints were what caused the dead area. And it was on the very edges of Vesipisara. Whatever it is, Bimini wasn't allowing Kiristuli to enter in. Just only in that area. He couldn't come any farther, even though he wanted to.
Just strange to me that he's allowed in a little bit, but not all the way.
Well, if he
Tip doesn't count.
he was in the dead area.
Well, as soon as he left
Maybe
the dead
Bimini
area,
Bimini is the essence of water. If something is dead, there's no water. She can't control it.
oh, hold on. Wait. So he's like a drying machine? He just sucks the moisture out of the air?
Fighting a bounty paper towel roll?
He's like a sauna?
Sauna.
Sauna? Came out weird.
You said he was walking around. Perhaps when that happened, they stopped the infection, but couldn't go and excise it completely because there was no way for them to do that.
So are you suggesting he dried out the area as a way to save Vesipisara? To cut off whatever thing is going on? I'm sorry, there's been a lot of traveling. I saw a weird Fey man who took a life. That might be rattling me just a little bit.
No, what I'm saying is perhaps he came and the land around him that he touched died.
Yeah, I figured that part out.
And then Bimini was unable to reclaim that area. And
It seems like she is slowly reclaiming the area. It was growing back when we left.
from the edges, yeah?
Yes.
Not in the middle where he was.
I think eventually it would get there.
Sometimes I wish she gave more than just signs.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, do you have any way to get in contact with her? We have some questions that need answering, and I would like them answered sooner rather than later.
Like a P.O. box or something.
Janice says, when we have needed her in the past, Storyastaba led us there. She does not she does not like to make herself known.
Remind me again, is she an archfey or is she a god?
She's an archfey.
Is that what you people have for gods around here? Or do you have real gods? Or
You do have gods. It's a Archfey are more powerful than the rest of us. They are the ones that can control the domain. It's almost as it's kind of like a king or queen or ruler of an area, like on the material plane. It's just there are certain benefits of being an Archfey as opposed to a regular Fey. Because we can the Archfey can kind of reshape the reality that's around them. Which is why you have the Summer Court, and then you have the other court, and the differences
why are they so
around
cryptic
them.
and hard to find? If you need to go
Because
see the king, you could just go see him.
Well, Archfey don't work that way. We're all kind of fickle creatures.
Why not?
Just
This seems to be overly complicated for unnecessary reasons.
Well, it is, but also it makes sense to my brain because when I don't want to show up, I don't show up.
So you just let all your friends and family die because you're not feeling it today?
And a little child can't rescue her own father?
Because I'm a little child! You answered your own question! That's hilarious!
Okay, see if I ever help you again, Vanilly. Whatever. That's fine.
At least I'm not inches away from calling Kira Stooley.
Zenus is gonna just turn away from Janice
and say, bitch. Oh no, don't tell my dad I said that.
Zenus is just gonna turn to Janice and say, you have the information that we have. If the me doesn't want to show up, she doesn't want to show up. And in that time, I'm gonna follow the advice of a random staff and disappear into the woods for the time being. Away from...
Is there any way you guys could, evacuate? Because if your whole village does die because your fickle archfey goddess doesn't want to show up to protect you guys, maybe you should consider evacuation.
Vanilly, I understand that you are very upset, but just because the world does not function in a way that you personally like does not mean that that way is wrong.
I'm just saying, perhaps it's time we stop wishing on stars that people who don't care about us are going to help. Maybe it is time we start doing things for ourselves. I feel that is a very valid thing to say. I understand I might not have said it in a way that was polite, but I don't know how else to help if your magic goddess that you wish on isn't going to come save you.
Well, they have reached out to us for help. We are doing the best that we can. I understand that it is frustrating, but...
10:30. On the dot.
I understand that it is frustrating, but you have severely hurt my good friend, and I was hoping that he would be your friend, and you owe Zenus a heartfelt apology. And I'm just going to turn and follow Zenus.
Oh, 10:31.
Why does that happen? It's so weird.
What did we say? It was Monday night wrestling or something?
Yeah.
They need the entire
took
bandwidth.
Patsy away.
Yeah.
Well, so Vanilly, or not Vanilly, Glimmer and Zenus are headed toward the wood. What are the other three doing?
Should we go with them, or what are we doing?
I feel like we should, but also like they might need space. I really don't like when my friends fight.
If it makes you feel better, Roswell, I feel like we're always fighting, you and me. I'm gonna go take a nap. Vanilly's gonna head inside to the inn. That was the point.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so as Glimmer and Zenus walk into the wood, give me an investigation check.
I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And give
I got
myself
a 17.
Fox's Cunning. And much like he did when he was trying to find the way to Vesipisara, he's kind of just letting himself follow whatever. Worked the first time. Might as well get lost again. I rolled 2 13s. What in the world? 16.
16?
Destined for a 16.
As you're walking through the wood, sort of following Suri, you notice footprints on the ground.
Are they changing?
Maybe.
Zenus does like the little kid thing where he like steps in each of the footprints and they're a little bit too far spaced out at one point, so he almost falls and catches himself.
Yep. And as you're walking through these footprints, they change from like boots to big hooves to like, I don't know, different kind of footprints. 6-toed foots. I don't know, all sorts of different kind of foots. Feet. I can pluralize words.
I think we have found the trail of Timothy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to talk about it, or would you like to be distracted?
I know she's coming from a different place than we are. And I should apologize for what I said earlier. Just not only to her, that was a low blow, and I shouldn't get into arguments with children. They never go anywhere. But also to you, it wasn't nice what I said earlier. Just, I wouldn't change knowing you for the world.
I understand that you are lashing out because you are feeling badly. My friendship is not so fickle that it cannot survive that.
But still, I know that just because it won't change doesn't mean it makes it any less hurtful. And I was just so excited to share. The Fae don't have to make sense. Nothing has to make sense in this world. It is. And it's beautiful because it is. And shouldn't that beauty be preserved because it can be?
Well, speaking from only having been on the material plane for 3 years, I can say with some confidence that the material plane also makes no sense. Nothing makes sense. This is just a different type of not making sense.
Exactly. It's all beautiful nonsense, and I just wish. I thought children were supposed to have a wonderment of the world, and I understand it isn't fair to her to expect her to behave a way that I want her to behave. That is entirely what I don't want to happen. I wish she could see it from my point of view, and I wish I could see it from hers. But I'm a stubborn old man, and
You have through a lot. The emotions.
Well, she is too.
Yeah. Well, no. What I am saying is, I think that you both lashed out at each other, said things that neither of you are proud of, And I think that if you just sit down and talk to each other and have a conversation about what you are feeling and why, both of you will feel better and come to an understanding. I think we've been... she was very correct. We've been running around, following random leads, following feelings that we have, and we haven't really gotten very far in understanding what is going on. So I understand her frustration, and I think that our communications perhaps have not been as good as they could be.
It is remarkable every time how much wisdom exists in you in so few years of your existence.
Why, thank you. I have read so many books.
You know, I should give that a try sometime.
They are lovely. They're like a whole world on their own.
As this conversation is going on, what are the three of you guys? So Vanilly is going to the inn. What are
Vanilly has
Eror,
angrily stomped up the stairs to take a nap.
what are Eror and Roswell doing?
Well, it's probably way too late to find Glimmer and Zenus. Vanilly is taking a nap, so I don't think she's gonna want to talk. What is there left to do? I guess we could look around the town, or
You want to go look for clues?
sure, why not?
All right. We both put on detective hats that have flaps in the front and the back.
We get our magnifying glasses out.
Give me investigation checks.
Investigation. Oh man, I'm super good at investigation.
13.
6.
You rolled a
13
6 and a 9.
Nice.
I think the 13. You see the most boring rabbit folk, Carl, chatting with someone. A little skulky looking. They're kind of next to one of the buildings, looking like they're trying to stay out of sight, except for here's the thing. The walls are all clear, so they're not very good at staying out of sight at the current moment. But they're trying, and they're chatting in a corner outside.
So I'm gonna turn to Roswell and say, isn't that the bad dad over there talking to someone?
Is the dad bad or just the mom?
No, the
I
dad
mean,
was
they're
sort of a
both
jerk
they're
to
both
us.
complicit. Yeah, I mean, so wait, hold on. Out of game question: is Janice Timothy's mom?
No, Oleandra is Timothy's mom. She was in the very boring.
Okay, and Oleandra is married to this dude.
Yes.
Okay, I got Janice and Oleandra mixed up because I remember somebody making a Janice joke when we were at the house.
Yeah. No, this Janice is not Timothy's mom. Oleandra is Timothy's mom.
I mean, yeah. Do you want to tail him, or do you think who's more shady, Oleandra or this guy?
Definitely this guy. Definitely this guy.
All right, you want to like tail him for the night and see where he goes and listen to his conversations?
I mean, well, he did the same thing to us, so.
That's true, but we're better.
Is there, I'm looking around, is there anywhere that we could like hide, or is this like a pretty open?
It's pretty open.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be able to hide very well here.
But you, as you're watching him, you see him kind of point in the general direction of the wood and in the general direction of where Glimmer and Zenus have gone.
Don't really like that.
He's just pointing by himself. He's not talking to anybody.
No, he was talking to another guy.
Okay, so he's like gesturing for the conversation. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, sneaking isn't the only option. We could just go talk to him. I don't know what we would say, and I don't know if he would give us any information, but...
All right, we'll try your way. We'll talk.
So you guys go up to the two men as they are chatting. Give me perception checks with advantage as you walk up.
Oh, there it is.
A 20.
Nice.
I rolled a 12 and a 1. So that's another... That's a 15.
What do my furball gears hear?
You hear... let's see. Trying to say the conversation in my head, and then where would you have come in on the conversation? You would hear... And don't let them... And he'd see you come up.
And don't let them what?
How long have you been standing there?
Long enough. We heard everything.
And who are the them that you were talking about?
Oh, you know those people that over in that general... And he kind of points
What do
in
you
the
mean by
completely opposite
those
direction of where he was pointing before.
Can I do an insight check?
Yes.
And there's nobody standing over there anymore, right?
No.
Insight. Nine.
He must be talking about people that were standing over there but are not anymore.
Hmm. Why are you so creepy all the time?
Why are you randomly listening in on conversations that have nothing to do with you?
I wasn't.
to be
I heard
fair,
the
you
tail
were-
end of the conversation as we walked up.
In our defense, you were tailing us yesterday, right?
Yeah, you were following us like a super creep.
Well, you said
Also-
you were going to be finding my son.
Okay.
No,
How come you
didn't
haven't
we say
tried to
that we
find
were
your son?
going? We were going to the mission that we were assigned yesterday.
Yeah, actually, we were doing a favor for Janice.
We mentioned your son, but we did not mention that we were finding your son yesterday.
How come you haven't tried to find your son?
I have tried. Why do you think I'm asking for help?
Your wife doesn't seem to be asking for help.
He kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. She stays at home.
What does that mean?
She stays at home?
Lots of people stay at home without abusing their children. I need you to elaborate.
I don't think I like your tone.
Well, I don't think I like the circumstances in which you raised your son. What does her staying at home have to do with her?
She does not traipse through the woods.
Okay, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have to have people look for her son or care about where he is, or you would think if you loved your son, regardless of what you preferred, you would still traipse through the woods.
He kind of
I feel like
looks
there's
up
something
and-
being left out here because normal parents don't talk about their son in the way that your wife and you have.
Yeah, get his ass.
So I'd appreciate some honesty on your behalf so we can try to solve this mystery a little bit sooner.
I'd listen to him if I were you. I saw him punch a tree and it just exploded.
He goes, I don't know who you think you are.
I don't know who you think you are.
He goes, my you guys are making me laugh. He says, we are doing everything we can to find our son, including asking for help. I don't know what more you want from me.
Who've you asked for help?
We
Give me a name.
literally just asked you for help this morning.
Did he?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You guys
Okay,
are going to find his son.
Besides us, who have you asked for help? This seems to have been an issue far longer than we've been here.
He says, Janice has done nothing. We've been trying.
I don't believe you.
That feels like a you problem.
Again, that raises the question, though, of why were you trailing us yesterday? This morning?
Because if you're going to find my son, I want to be there.
You didn't
couldn't
ask
have
us
just
to
said-
find your
You
son
couldn't have just
yesterday.
mentioned that, like, you couldn't have just said, can I come with you? You had to be very sneaky and deceptive about it.
You've met you have you met my son?
No.
Briefly.
A glimpse of him, but that's about it.
I've met the back of him.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't need my son running away because I'm with you guys.
Your son's already run away.
If he knows I'm there, he will not stay.
So how come he doesn't want to go home? What's happening there?
I don't know.
So you don't know what's happening in your own home?
This guy, this very exceptionally boring looking rabbit folk. His hair is up on end. He goes, I don't like what you're insinuating, and I do not need to take this. Tell me when you found my son. And he
I'm going to
turns
squat
on
down
his
to
heel.
eye level, and I'm going to say, what are you going to do about it?
And he turns on his heel and walks away.
I'm going to, as he turns, I want to try to pick his pocket.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
That is a 28.
Holy freaking hell, man. Okay.
I said
Roll
rob this
19
man.
to 20.
Yeah, I rolled a 19 and a 20.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, mini Christmas. Okay, roll a D100, please.
I know what a random shit's in this dude's pocket. Probably nothing helpful, but we'll have it.
You find
bloody
some
the
rabbit's
exact
paw.
pieces
location of his
bread.
son.
It's a
He's
bloody
always
Hold on,
rabbit's paw.
I have to find the thing.
He
I have to
is
find it.
Panini.
Wow.
Where is
Galaxy brain.
Crack this wide open.
We find a tiny pair of moth wings.
Oh, we're playing Hollow Knight now?
is it this one? Oh, this one. Nope, not that one. This one. Here
I
we
still
go.
love this whole sequence of like Eror and Roswell just like
Fucking get him.
Smackdown.
One of my,
Sending
like,
CPS on this
honestly-
guy's ass.
it's one of my like favorite moments of the entire campaign so far. It's just so good.
You
We're
pull
the
out.
CPS sheriffs.
I'm not entirely sure how you pull this out. Maybe he has like a TARDIS pocket or something. But a small red and black clay pot with some runes on it.
Fix this pot, Melissa.
I don't
Like
like
a
get his
Played
wallet.
hot, you
Like a
find it, or you
little
just happy to
potter's-
see me.
Little, like this.
Okay. You can fit that in a pocket.
Yeah.
Big pocket, but
Yeah, no pocket that I wear.
I can fit that in one of my pockets.
And as you're holding it and he's walking away, you're kind of looking at this pot and you see a little plant start to slowly grow up out of it.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's like the soul of his kid?
I certainly hope not.
I smell it.
And it, hold on. It has a sweet, floral, lightly spiced fragrance.
Smells like a burrito.
Is it still growing? Like, is it just constantly?
Yeah, it's growing till eventually it gets to be just a little spice plant. And sorry, gotta look at the thing.
Ari, this guy is shady.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Me neither. Also, he
What?
didn't have a wallet and he did have a potted plant. Who does that?
I think
A plant that just grew into a spice plant.
I think Roswell may recognize it as marjoram.
Marjoram?
It's a marjoram plant.
That's a good herb. Good for cooking.
Marjoram.
Yeah. Did you have something, Yuri?
You say margarine? Like the butter?
M with an at the end. Marjoram. Marjoram. Marjoram.
Okay.
It's a part of
You
the mint
think so?
family and is a subspecies of oregano. It's a delicate herb with a sweet, floral, lightly spiced fragrance.
It's yummy.
So that happens. You guys are still watching this plant grow.
Why did he have that in his pocket?
Who knows? But we'll go back to Glimmer and Zenus as you are following this path. You come to, and it's a very interesting path. You probably wouldn't be able to follow it without the help of Yuri. But eventually you come to a small looks like a kid's fort. 3 walls, but it's made up very nicely, like someone has been there a while. And as you kind of come around, you see this giant pillow, and laying on it is, hold on, gotta find the description, a dwarven man with dragon scales down his face, and he's sitting there and he's just sleeping.
Do I recognize him?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure I'm close to him because I don't want him bolting. And when I'm close, I'm going to go, Mr. Vanilly's father, wake up! It is time to get up. Your daughter is missing you very much, and you are sleeping on the ground, and I will not have it. Wake up, please.
And as you say that, he sits up slowly. And that is where we are going to end for the evening. Except I do have a little thing. And this is super out of my comfort zone, so be gentle. As Vanilly is laying in bed, we hear there is a song floating through the air that everyone can hear. And it's difficult to make out at first, but soon it comes into the second-ish verse. And it goes, "Follow, sweet children, I'll show thee the way into a land of enchantment. Rest now, my children, for soon we'll away into the calm and the quiet. Hush now, dear children, it must be this way, too weary of life and deceptions. Come, little children, the time's come to play, here in my garden of shadows." And that is what we have for this evening. Thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate you. Hit that follow if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are so inclined. We will be back here next Monday. Find out what that was all about. Come back here Wednesday. Different day, same time for Dungeon Sphere with me and Yuri and Wyatt. It'll be a great time. Thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate you. Have a great rest of the evening. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.